There.
All right, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our academic night. We hope to give you all some really good information over the course of the night. But what I wanted to start out talking to you about is Title One. As many of you know, we are a Title One school, and with that, we have to develop a Title One plan. Last year's Title One plan was not implemented in the same way that we will do it going forward because now we have you, the stakeholders. And so what I will be looking for is stakeholder input. I'm going to be putting out some information and communicating with you when we will have these meetings to get some stakeholder input on what should be included in our Title One plan, which ties right into why we're here tonight for academic night. So please be on the lookout for those stakeholder input opportunities. But as some of you know, it is now budget season for our schools. So our preliminary budget has been released, but we are still working to receive our Title One budget. That Title One budget has to be designated for Title One things. It can go into, of course, our academic programs for our core content area, but it can also go to personnel for personnel who will work with Title One. We can purchase teachers out of that. Of course, our parent liaison, Ms. Juarez, is going to come out of that. But there are some positions that we can also purchase. So over these next couple of weeks, I'll be working on our overall budget, but also designating where these funds for Title One will go. And once I am finished with that, I'm going to have a formal meeting to communicate that plan. Again, this will assist you, or this will be an opportunity for you to assist me in developing that overall plan and designating where these funds go and what areas they should go into as we develop this Title One program. So I'm looking forward to that. It is extremely important work, and I really hope that you all will join me in completing these tasks because it is what's best for our students. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And without further ado, we are going to move on with the rest of academic night. Thanks again for joining us, and we will talk with you soon.
Good day, Global Impact Academy students and families. Welcome back to the second half of our school year. We have made it to 2022, and we see that the pandemic is still posing some challenges. So I figured that we create a platform where parents and students could access this information at their own time instead of having a face-to-face event so that we can all be on the same page on where we are and where we're going. Just some months ago, we started at Global Impact Academy as a brand new school, and we're already halfway through the school year. So as we look forward to where we're going, I want to be sure that students have an understanding of what's expected, what's to come, and how we can be available and supportive in all the things that you will need to do as a parent to support the student and your student so that they are knowledgeable about the process and what is going to be happening next in their academic timeline. So let's get right into it. First things first, transcript conversations. So some of you started here with no high school credits if you're a freshman, and in some cases, some freshmen came in with high school credits that were taken in middle school. And if we have sophomores who are looking at their academic history, you have obtained a transcript when you started high school as a ninth grader after your first semester. So in a few short weeks, every student will have access to their transcript, which will be a collection of what they did the first semester from grades, earned, attempted, and all those things. So the first thing we'll do is talk about the transcript, what it involves, and what that looks like. All right, so let's just get started with the basics of what the transcript entails. The transcript is a history of your academics, pretty much all the courses you've taken, when you took them. So it starts out with a small portion of student information, such as your student ID, your name, birth date, just pretty much self-identification items that are there so that when you do take your transcript with you as you become a junior or senior to a college event or recruitment event, they can easily identify and see who you are, your birth date, certain details about your academic history. The other thing that's very important are your dates of enrollment. There's a small section that has some dates of enrollment from when you started high school, when you enrolled in other schools, if you were in a Fulton County school, or what middle school you attended. One of the major things that you'll see there are what courses you have taken and completed. In addition to the courses you've taken, you'll see beside that any grades that you earned or not. In some cases, at the end of a transcript, there'll be a credit summary. And in some cases, a student may have an I or some other indicator of something, either EOC wasn't taken or you were withdrawn from the course, or any other indicators that would give you knowledge of why there's not a grade there. And then it'll have attempted and earned credits. So when you attempt a credit, it's showing that you attempted and completed a course for 0.5 credit for each course in Fulton County to ultimately complete 1 credit for each course that you're taking during a school year. It'll show what you attempted and what you completed. So in that case, just because you attempted a course doesn't mean that you earned credit. So you'll show attempted. If you failed a course, it'll have 0.0. You won't show that you've earned the 0.5. And if you completed it, it'll show what you did earn. Another very important piece that you'll notice on your transcript is your numeric grade average, also known as your GPA. Fulton County is on a 100-point scale, so your numeric grade average will change by semester, and it'll always be captured underneath each section or semester so that you know where you are and what that is. Total credits, that is how many credits you've earned in total for each semester or in total for your whole academic experience or history, whether you're a 9th grader and it has the full year or you're a 10th grader and it has first semester. It'll show you what you've earned in totality between your start until your last report date. Now let's take a look at a sample transcript. Because some students do not possess just yet a transcript that they can look at and refer to, this is just kind of an idea so you can have a point of reference. So you can kind of see the things that I mentioned. So you'll see the school year, you'll see the grade and term. Terms are important. Term 1 is from August to December, and term 2 is from January to May. You see that they'll have the courses listed in detail and a state course number beside it, so you know what the course is and how it's applicable to what the state's requirements are. You'll see the grade earned. You'll see the weight of the course. So some schools may do a scheduling where they have a true block schedule and they earn a whole credit for a course in 1 semester, where in Fulton County we get half a credit per semester to have 1 credit by the end of the school year. So you'll notice that there's a 0.5 credit if they've taken and passed the course. If the course was failed with a grade below a 70, you'll see a 0 there. And those credits will not count towards what's required for you or towards your total credit numbers. Alrighty, so this is one of the most important slides in this presentation, and where students and parents need to be very knowledgeable about what the requirements are to graduate from high school. We are a STEM magnet school, so there are some additional requirements or courses that our students take that wouldn't be required in the Fulton County graduation requirement. And so in looking at that, the credit requirement for graduation is 23 credits per Fulton County. For a GIA student, we're looking at 25 because our students are taking an additional social studies course, and we are having them take the AP Seminar and AP Research courses here at Global Impact Academy. In addition to that, we are wanting our students to take 3 years of a foreign language because it just looks better for most colleges and institutions. So in looking at the requirements, it's important that you know what's required, where and in what area. So in looking at math, there are 4-year requirements, 4 credit requirement for the math area to include algebra, geometry, algebra 2, and pre-cal or calculus. So you must have 4 years of a math class to be able to graduate from high school. And looking at social studies, it's a 3-credit requirement because you take American government and economics, which are half semester courses, and you need a full year of world history and a full year of U.S. history. However, many of our students at Global Impact Academy are taking our course, Sociology and Current Issues, because of the nature of our approach to learning and having empathy at the center. So while you don't see that listed there per Fulton County requirement, that is an in-house Global Impact course that we are having our students to take based on our school requirement, based on how we want to serve and grow students in their learning. For science, there are 4 sciences required. There are 2 that are mandatory, which are biology or AP biology, or physical science or physics. And then the other 2 can be any combination of sciences, but we will be offering chemistry and human anatomy. So that's a realistic picture of what your student would probably take for science courses. However, we may grow this list over time. English. Our students take 9th grade literature, then they take AP seminar for their 10th grade requirement, American literature, and then British and World Lit. For Ctae, this is your career tech pathway. So our students have to complete a STEM pathway. As you know, we offer 3 pathways: engineering, digital technology, and healthcare science. Only 3 credits are required, but our students will naturally have more than the 3-year requirement. Because of our Georgia Tech Trio blended course we offer, many of our students will earn 3 career tech credits in this school year because they'll earn a credit for all 3 of their intro courses, and then they'll continue with the selected pathway chosen for a 2nd and 3rd level. So our students will already have more than the minimum requirement and over the career tech requirement, and those additional career tech opportunities will be able to move into the elective area as well. So looking at world language, requirement for the district is 2 consecutive years of a foreign language to attend a 4-year college or university. So in some other high schools, some students may or may not take foreign language if they know that they're not going the college route. However, here at Global Impact Academy, we want our students to have the opportunity to access any post-secondary options. So we are requiring all of our students to take 2 consecutive years, but recommending 3. As far as electives go, they need 4 credit hours of electives. This may include anything outside of your requirements. So like an SAT prep class, AP research. If you go over the 2 language requirement, that can move over into that elective area. If you go over the 3-year requirement, 3 credit hours for your career tech pathway, those can all flow over into that area. So anything that's not listed as a requirement here that is outside of that, so those things can roll over. So if you're taking an art class or anything like that, sociology or current issues can count as elective. So anything that's not a requirement for the core areas. For PE, as you know, we do not offer personal fitness and health on campus. It is through a virtual platform, but we do have a gym. And so that is where the PE requirement is for 1 credit hour. So now that we understand the requirements for graduation, it is very important that we understand when there is not academic success, or when there's also looking at promotion and retention, that there is a requirement per grade level as well, in addition to overall requirements to graduate from high school. So in looking at your history in school, for parents who are new to the high school level, in most cases in middle school, these things are not considered as much, but in high school, it's a numbers game. And so it's not just about completing a course, it's about completing a course, earning credit, and having enough credits in a particular grade level to be able to move to the next grade. So in looking at a student's transcript, as they develop it and as they continue to add to it over time, you have to have X amount of credits to be promoted to each grade level. So looking at promotion and retention, your credits are what guides being promoted or retained in high school. So it's important that students are knowledgeable about where they are, how many credits they have, how many credits they need to be able to matriculate to the next grade. So looking at our freshman students that have come in this year, at minimum, you have to have 5 credits to be promoted to sophomore status. So in the event that a student, let's say, has 4.5 credits and returns to school in August or does not recover for a course, that student would be considered a 9th grader, although they might be taking 10th grade courses. And so it's important that students remain on track for graduation and that they hit these credit requirements each grade level to be sure that they're on track to graduate on time. We do have a graduation coach that works at Global Impact Academy who will work closely with students who may be off track presently or at risk of getting off track. In addition to that, as a counselor, we meet with students and work with students who are showing difficulty with any classes or with grades so that we can get ahead of it. Right now, we're at a good place mid-year to look at finishing strong so that students should be able to earn all of their credits. And if you have a student who may not have had success with all courses that were taken, there are opportunities to recover. And so any courses that are failed can be recovered in summer school or on a virtual platform so that students can recover the grade and continue to move on and earn the credit needed so that they can ultimately graduate. To be a junior, for my 10th graders right now, you need 11 credits to be promoted to a junior. And then as we continue and we have our senior class, they have to have 17 credits to be considered on track. And so any students who are off track at this time, we have met with those students. We have made contact with parents to let them know. And we have talked about plans to recover or look at what we need to do to get back on track. When it's early and it's maybe one course, it's much easier to make correction and continue. And students are usually able to redirect themselves and understand the process and how it works a little bit better. So moving forward, students should be more knowledgeable about the expectation now that they have been in high school for some time. So these things do happen. However, over time and as their transcript is used to reflect their history, it is clear that when you fail a course, that grade doesn't go away or is not removed from the transcript, but once it's recovered, it will show that the grade has been there, that it has been recovered, and that you have earned that credit. So everyone will see whatever that grade was originally. There's no replacement of grades when it's recovered. So those opportunities are available to students, and you can schedule to meet with me for any students or parents who are concerned about promotion or retention. As we continue to move forward during this academic school year. So this is important information. So mid-year, with our students taking 7 courses at Global Impact Academy, and each course is worth half a credit. These students have had the opportunity to earn up to 3.5 credits during the middle of the school year, and they'll have another opportunity to earn the other 3.5 between January and May to give a total of 7 credits. So students are in a good position to be able to hit their target goal or exceed that and actually finish with more credits than needed to graduate at Global Impact Academy. So let's talk about what's coming soon. We are right here about to open up for course recommendations for the next school year. Yes, I know we're already looking at the next school year. And so in looking at that, it's important that you all understand a little bit more about what this process is, what it looks like, because for some of you, this is the first time that you were being recommended for courses at the high school level, and it may have looked different for you last year, considering the virtual nature for those who weren't in high school. And so in looking at what courses you're going to take next school year and being assigned to courses you need to graduate, there are particular indicators and things that are considered as we do this. So the first question is always, well, what courses will I take next year? And I'll go over the requirements and what's usually taken for that grade level, but who recommends them? So presently, the teachers who you take courses with right now at Global Impact Academy will be the teachers who will recommend you for your next course that you will take. So if you're in 9th grade literature right now with Ms. Lang will look at your performance and what you've done during their time together and recommend you for AP seminar next school year for your 10th grade literature. In some cases outside of AP seminar, because all of our 10th graders take that, like something like a chemistry for a student or a chemistry honors or a AP course, those indicators and those courses there are considered courses that are not necessarily on level. So let's talk about course options. So we have on-level courses that we offer, which are pretty much the courses that are on-level standard. We have honors courses, which are a little bit more rigor. And then we have AP courses, which are advanced placement. And you take an AP exam at the end of the school year, and if you score a certain score, you can get credit for the college course, for the AP course for college credit. And then we have dual enrollment, which I'll talk more about a little bit later, that's available for students to take college courses while in high school and be dual enrolled with no out-of-pocket cost to the student. This opportunity is available for 10th and 11th graders, and I will explain that more. Lastly, students can take full-time virtual for courses, and some students may decide to take courses online, either for availability, just like our students who are taking, let's say, French, because we don't offer French face-to-face, or personal fitness or health. And this can be done in the summer as well if students want to accelerate, or if they need to recover something, so that we can build that into the schedule as well. So besides you selecting your pathway that you are going to commit to for the next 2 years in your digital technology, engineering, or healthcare, and what that is, outside of that, your teacher recommends you for your next courses for the next school year. Now, I always get this question, what if I want to attempt, or what if my student wants to take AP American Literature and they weren't recommended by the teacher? Those are conversations that we can have one-on-one to discuss looking at that option. If the teacher didn't make that recommendation, but you feel like your student might be ready or they need to take on the challenge. Of course, with any of these things, there are some indicators that the district likes for us to consider when looking at AP and honors courses and even dual enrollment, and that's the academic standing of the student. And an 85 or higher is what is usually considered for those advanced or honors courses. Alrighty, so we've talked about a lot so far. I hope I'm not losing you. But this is a great segue into dual enrollment and what that is. I'm not going to read through everything here. This is something that you and your family can look at together and consider, and follow with me as the counselor if this is something you want to take advantage of for your student. The first thing that people need to be aware of is students must take the SAT or ACT to enroll into the college that they are choosing to go to for dual enrollment. So while dual enrollment is an offering at Global Impact Academy, there are outside requirements that have to take place before we begin the process in-house. So let's say students are considering either, let's say, Georgia Military College, which is across the street, we've partnered with. You can consider Georgia State, Georgia Tech. But it's you and your student's responsibility to look up the requirements for acceptance at those schools, because they have to be accepted into the program. And so the deadline for that is March 31st to have students participate in August. And so it's very important right now that you look at the SAT and ACT testing dates. Again, it's very important right now that you look at the SAT and ACT test dates available between now and March, so that you know when you can test and that you can send in those test material to the college of choice, so that when you apply, you have that information, so that there's no lag in being accepted, and you know that if you can qualify or not. Every school's requirements are different. For 10th graders who want to do dual enrollment, you can only take a career tech course. Again, for any sophomore students who want to do dual enrollment, you can only take a career tech course. So courses related to careers, not any core academic offerings. That's available for juniors and seniors. There's a short list here for how you apply for dual enrollment. Because our 10th grade class is so small, this will be more of a hands-on approach that I will have in little small workshops and series to work with families who are interested, so that no one gets lost in the process. There are several steps. There are timelines. There are different contracts and things that must be submitted. And so we'll have a small little cohort of those people who are interested that we can kind of do it as a group and hit those targets and those timelines. So right now, if you have a student who wants to do dual enrollment, you need to go and find the school that they're looking to attend and find out their requirements for testing, find out, go ahead and apply so that you can go ahead and have your application started. And then once you get your scores back, we'll find out if you've been accepted, and then we'll move forward with the next steps. right, so moving right along, one new platform that the district has introduced to families and students during last school year before GIA was a thing, it was open, is a new program called Naviance. And this is kind of a one-stop shop for students that they have created. And we will be using Naviance to streamline some of our in-house events and things. So as we have college reps and visitors come to school, this is where students will go to sign up for those events. For for career exploration activities that are required for each grade level, dual enrollment, interest and surveys, career interest inventories, strengths profilers. It's a great place for students to be able to reach their goals by developing skills critical for college, career, and life. So I have a short video here that I have attached that you can look at later. Or press play on once you get to a stopping point or once I start talking to review so that you know kind of what Naviance has to offer, how it looks, and we will start having students engage with this program during January to start looking around, getting a feel for it, because as they matriculate as juniors and seniors, this is where they'll request transcripts. Everything will happen here in their student life, and so it's important that students are knowledgeable of what it has to offer, how to navigate the program, and how to use it so that we can streamline the things that we're doing at Global Impact Academy to support your student. So at your leisure, you can go back to this slide and press play, or once I'm done talking on the slide before you move forward, you can take a look at this small YouTube video on what Naviance is. I've heard great things about the program, and I'm really excited to engage our students in it. Alrighty, so some important things to think about here as we continue this school year and as students have come through the first half of the semester is being proactive about where you are, what your needs are, and what needs to happen. So I always tell students, when you see trouble, don't wait until you see fire. Like when it's falling apart, when you feel like your grade is at 40 or 50, students are losing it, they're worried, they're concerned, they're stressed. It's always better to get ahead of things when you see that you're having difficulty. When we can get tutoring early, we can meet, we can get additional support. So ultimately, we don't want your students to procrastinate. We're here to support your student, whether they are having success or whether they're having challenges or whether they're having setbacks. We understand that this has been an interesting season in time of learning, and that there are also some deficits because of the non-traditional approach for students. And so it's okay if we need to do more to help or to push or to provide more supports, but we can't support students if we can't catch it early. Managing your academics wisely. High school is no small feat, and at a STEM magnet school, this is not some walk in the park. And so learning to stay on task, managing your classwork, your assignments, timing of events and when things are due are very important to your success, because there are things that can happen that have nothing to do with your academic capability, but just more so of routines and things that are not working for you that are hindering you from having success in your classes and in school. Study, because so many students had the opportunities last school year who were home or who weren't in school, and because the requirements were a little more lenient, students got comfortable with not studying as much, and you have to study to be able to have success. Study groups, study on your own, going to study hall. Looking at the people you're around also is an indicator of how far or how involved you can be or engaged in your setting at school, and that's in life, period. So be sure you're mindful about the people that you're surrounded by and who you're connecting with, that those people are pushing you to be better, pushing you to stay on task, pushing you to be successful, and not pulling you away from what's most important right now. This is your pretty much main goal and focus right now as you begin to get closer to finishing high school, and your transcript and what you do now will affect the opportunity and access you had to opportunities later. Time is of the essence. As you know, we just started the school year and we're already in a new year, and then we'll be talking about what you're going to be taking next school year. So time is precious. Do not waste your time. Do not lose time. And make sure you take advantage of your time. We do have a small group of students who are working on time management, organization skills. So do not hesitate to let us know what your needs are as a family for your students so that we can support you here at Global Impact Academy as well. The journey, we are on a journey and everyone's path is different. So what I like to tell families and students is don't compare yourself to others, just stay the course. Opportunities will come left and right, from my desk to Dr. Newbold's. And so you want to always be sure you're in a position that you can be seen and thought of when those things rise. So make sure that you stand out. And it's not just academics and having all A's. It's about being, a student leader, being engaged in activities, being present, being in extracurricular activities, being a leader, being involved, volunteering. Students, if you know what you want to do when you finish high school, look at doing some internships or enrichment opportunities this summer. You don't have to wait. And then, of course, dual enrollment is something that you should always be thinking about as well if you're ready for college level rigor and saving money for college down the road. Those are some things to keep in mind as you continue this high school journey. Stay connected. It's so easy, especially now that we're back in this virtual world, to not stay connected and not to let people know what your needs are. And to have a support group around you if there are things that are overwhelming or too much for you to handle. And so as your counselor, I'm very present and available. You all know that my office is always open and that I can be reached by email or stopping by the counseling center or emailing me, and I can send you the link to set up an appointment with me. Even this week, if you need to see me via Teams and we chat or connect, I know we have been away from school for some time and a lot could have taken place. So we do have supports here at the school. In addition to that, we have Odyssey, an outside counseling agency that comes in to work with students who need therapy or support or need a therapist. So with all that said, there is a lot that we have done in these last 5 months. I believe it is. In these last 5 months, there's a lot ahead of us that we have to do together. And making sure that you are where you need to be mentally is very important to your academic outcomes. So if there are any needs that you have from counseling to mental health support, here is a list of things that you can look at and refer to if I'm unavailable. And I'm here to support, of course, during the school day and during school hours, if your student needs help with anything or you as a parent need some understanding or need some supports or different things you need us to consider or look at for your student, because we are a team. And so that is the close of this presentation. Of course, if there are any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me or call me when we return to campus this week to schedule something so that we can discuss good, bad, ugly, anything we need to do, reconsider, so that we can support your scholar and that they can have success at Global Impact Academy. Students and families, I thank you for your time and attention to this matter. If there's anything you need clarity on, have confusion about, I am available and willing to help and support. And I'm so happy to be the counselor here at Global Impact Academy and support your student as they matriculate through this interesting time that we're in. Stay well, stay healthy, stay connected, and know that we're here to support you and your family at Global Impact Academy. Thank you. Take care.
All right, so that was our awesome presentation from Ms. Gibson in terms of academics. And now we're just going to go ahead and transition into, excuse me, our curriculum night. So with further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So thank you all for joining now for our second part of our curriculum night. This portion is presented by Title I. This is our agenda for this evening. We have our introduction video that we just watched. We'll be going over the highlights of our current curriculum from our core classes. Then we'll have a brief discussion about Naviance that you all just heard Ms. Gibson touch a little bit on. And student social skills is what the SSS is for. And then lastly, we have dual enrollment and AP. So for starters, what is a curriculum? The term curriculum refers to the lessons and academic content that is taught in a school or in a specific course or program. In dictionaries, a curriculum is often defined as the courses that are offered by a school, but it is rarely used in such a general sense in schools. So to get started, we are going to touch on the highlights of our classes that are mentioned right there. We have engineering. So this is what the students are currently working in engineering. It is a CO2 dragster design and construction project. And as you can see on the pictures, the objective is for the students to take the design thinking process, and create a dragster model. And this includes sketching it, designing it, and then putting it to the test. And Mr. Babel made me aware that the final one that wins gets to compete in the state. So that is actually pretty cool. And as you can see, that's a sketch that they have what theirs will look like. And then this is the actual track that they have in the classroom. For healthcare, for healthcare, the students are learning the basics of healthcare. That this includes taking vitals. They're also learning about human growth and development, meaning from the stages of infancy all the way to old age. We also have them learning about wellness and nutrition, and one of the projects that they will be doing for wellness and nutrition is they are going to be dissecting their very own diets. So the teachers will have them log whatever it is that they eat, and then they're going to go back and dissect the actual benefits and learn more about that. They're also learning about the proper use and application of PPE. And PPE stands for Personal Protective Equipment, in case any of you all were wondering. For algebra, we have
Hey parents,
a recording.
this is Miss Avra, the mathematics department chair. I'm just gonna walk you kind of through what Algebra 1 is doing right now. Currently they are working on quadratics, and Mr. Balarapu has provided us with some lovely images of this activity they've done to really summarize kind of what's going on in quadratics. So in this activity, we had students roll a tennis ball covered in paint across a piece of chart paper, and then you can see the final product there, and then on the other side they were able to take a picture of their actual quadratic formula, that parabola, and plug that picture into an online program called Desmos. They took the image and then they overlaid, they found the vertex at the top, they found the two x-intercepts, and they were able to create a quadratic function and map it over it to see how these quadratic functions will occur in real life, and maybe lead them to further understanding of what a quadratic function is, how it can be used, and just let them have a little bit of fun. Okay, and for the geometry students, what we are currently working on is trigonometry. And for our real world application that we're working on, we're going to have students choose 3 of 4 tasks to complete, where they can see how trigonometry is working with real life jobs. So they can choose to do a fireworks display that they're going to propose to be the best fireworks display. They can work through a task where they go through it's a written out paper where they go through what it would be like to be in a real air traffic control situation with directing planes to land. Look at how angles affect different sports, and then a CSI task where they'll be able to figure out the trajectory that bullet was shot at. So that's kind of some stuff that we'll be doing in geometry coming up next week. As for other assignments, make sure you're watching out for your students. Need to do anything on ALEX. They can always utilize the ALEX function where they can learn at their own pace. It's really nice that it gives them material they may be missing back through 6th grade that can help them out in the course that they're in right now. And then we also assign assignments on ALEX, so watch out for that. Make sure you're checking the gradebook on Infinite Campus to see if there's anything that students need, and feel free to email us. Have a great day, guys.
And next we have English. So in English, the students are doing a couple of things. On the left, you can see here, they are listening, reading, and there was another method that the teacher told me and I can't remember now. I apologize. But I believe the main ones, they're listening and reading Romeo and Juliet. And so with that, they're looking for objective summaries, elements of a plot, characterization. And something that they're also doing in English that I thought was really awesome, and I took a picture, which is this, what you're seeing right here. And it's the Informational Text Concept Organizer. Miss Griffith was explaining to me how they are taking current articles. So as you can see here, this one, the title of this one was Adolescence and the Teenage Crush. And so these are articles that they are reading. And it's so two things are happening here. They're getting information on articles that are relevant and topics that are interesting to them, but they're also combining that with English in the sense that they're having to identify the content, structure, and support said article. The information from that article. That's the objectives that they made me aware. They want to be able to have the students, any article that they read, be able to identify the title, the specific purpose, the structure, and this is the layout in which they go and identify those different information that they are required to study. For science, we do have a Flipgrid video, and I'm just gonna go ahead and play that for you all. And here we go.
Good afternoon, GIA family. My name is Ms. Boyd, and I have the pleasure of serving as Science Department Chair here at Global Impact. First off, I just wanted to let everyone know that my colleagues and I have been working really hard at providing a great quality learning experience for all of our students that we have in our classes, and we are so happy to have each and every one of you here with us. The Science Department currently has 4 people. Myself, I teach both chemistry and biology. We have Ms. Desamores. She teaches biology, and that includes the honors biology students. And then there's also Ms. Worrell and Mr. Drummer, who too teach biology. Now, right now, we only have chemistry and biology because our student body is small, but as the student body grows, of course, we're going to add on more great classes that our students will have a choice in to choose from. In reference to our classes and correspondence with our parents, we correspond in different ways, telephone calls and emails. And so please look out for emails from all of us that let you know what's going on in the classes, to keep you in the know of some good things and important things that we have going on in our classes right now. Another important thing that you as parents need to remember or make note of are our tutorial times. My tutorial time for chemistry is on Wednesday afternoons, and for biology is Tuesday afternoons. For Ms. Desamores, her tutorial times for her biology students are Wednesday afternoons. And for Ms. Worrell, she's offering tutorial times for her biology students on Tuesdays afternoons and on Thursday mornings. So all your students have to do is just let us know what they're in need of, and we will be right there. In reference to the school year, you know, we've really taken time to try to ease the students back into the swing of things as far as school goes. And so far, we've been really successful. We've been covering topics such as genetics, photosynthesis, and we're going to move into ecology, that is in biology and in chemistry. We've been covering topics dealing with atomic structure and the periodic table and different types of reactions. And that is just a few of the things covered in both courses. Our goal is for our students to have a successful school year. We want...
I'm sorry, there's somebody's microphone that's on, so I'm going to see if... Let me see. trying to see if I can mute that person, but I don't see. If you all can just please make sure that your microphones are on mute, please, so that we can all hear the presentation. I would greatly appreciate
Want
it.
to end strong and again get them back acclimated with being at school. And so if it's anything that you guys need from us, please let us know. Send us an email, give us a telephone call, and we will be right there to help with anything that you need. Thank you. Good afternoon.
All right, and so that was from our science department, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this back in. All right, and we have now social studies, and I'm going to go ahead and...
Good evening, GIA parents. My name is Sherry Bowie, and I am the Social Studies Chair here at Global Impact Academy. And the goal of social studies here is really to develop one of our core ideas, which is empathy. So through social studies and learning about others throughout the world, we hope that our students gain a sense of empathy in order to develop skills to help them develop inventions that could help other people one day, and to really expose them to the world's issues and what's going on. Here at Global Impact, they will be learning AP Human Geography, which talks about patterns and social skills. It talks about food deserts and things like that. So it also exposes kids to what's going on in the world. 10th grade year, they will be taking World History or AP World History, which looks throughout time to show what's going on in history, the patterns, etc. 11th grade, they will be taking U.S. History or AP U.S. History, in which, of course, will delve back into pre-colonized America and begin from there to the current. And then senior year, if most seniors haven't taken it already, our students will be taking political science as well as economics. And so I hope through these classes that we've really developed students that are caring and compassionate and really show that empathetic spirit. And I hope that you have questions for me, and please reach out if you need me. Okay, my name is Sherry Bowie, and my email is bowie@fultonschools.org. Thank you.
Awesome. So that was our teacher from the social studies department. I also, while we're here, for the students that are working or in sociology, they are currently studying the behavior of people. They're also discussing cultures that represent, they're discussing cultures, and one of the projects that they will be having is to find a recipe and a picture of a dish, a food dish that represents their personal culture. And then they are going to vote on the dish and then look into actually either getting it catered in. And so I wanted to share that with you all as well. I thought that was really neat.
Good evening, GIA.
Oh, there we go. And now we have our portion on Naviance. And this is going to be presented by our dear Mr. Gubaini. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the platform on over to him.
Hello, everybody. I'm Sibu Ciso Gubaini, the graduation coach at Global Impact Academy, STEM Magnet High School. So in order just not to be redundant, I know Ms. Gibson did a wonderful presentation earlier, kind of introduced Naviance. Just to elaborate a little bit further, Fulton County Schools partner with Hobson's to create this Naviance program, and it's none other than just a comprehensive college career and life readiness tool that is used to help students align their strengths and their interests to their post-secondary goals and plans. So the beautiful thing is that every single high school student in Fulton County will have their own Naviance account, and we do encourage them to go in and navigate through it at their leisure. And it's the beautiful thing with it is that it gives those students like a personalized college and career planning tool. So they can go in by using their Strengths Explorer, and from there they can decide, what colleges and careers that they want to explore and go in. So there are some set guided programs that we will go through with myself as the graduation coach as well as our counselor. And that's all I have for Naviance. Ms. Gibson, you did a great job earlier.
Awesome. And with that, we'll also transition for our student success skills.
So also with our student success skills, what Fulton County has done is to get all of the schools to have the student success skills portion, which is called SE. We refer to it as the social emotional learning piece within our schools. So it's broken down to either 20 minutes 2 times a day, or you can do it 15 minutes for 3 days out of the week. So for our school, we chose to look at it the 20 minutes twice a week. So this is how we have it broken down. Between 10:25 and 10:45 on Monday through Thursday, we have our PBIS Mondays, in which we use different resources to kind of segue into the different domains that SEL has. So for example, if we're looking at, for that week, we may be looking at resilience. We'll use different resources to have a PBIS lesson that caters towards resilience. And then that will segue into what we use. It's called Rethink Ed lessons. And this is all inside of our students' class link, in which on Tuesdays, we begin those Rethink Ed lessons. So it's somewhat of like a press and release model for our teachers. So on Tuesdays, we have a 5-minute, we do the learning piece, and in which that learning piece can entail maybe a short video introducing whatever that self-awareness or self-care goal is for that week to address. And then from there, you have a 10-minute period for practice. So at that point, that's when students are somewhat independently working and going through a practice portion. And then that goes into Wednesday, in which on Wednesday, we're going to take a deeper dive in whatever the theme is, I'll say, for that week. And that will continue the work that is not complete, that will continue to enter our Flex Thursday. So it truly just depends on what that word is or what that theme is for the week. And these are all vetted resources, all vetted lessons from the district. So it is provided, and the students are able to go in and complete these lessons as well at their leisure. If they want to go back and kind of, look at it, look through it, and use the information at other times, they are free to do that as well. And we also encourage that. So that's what we do from 10:25 to 10:45 on Monday through Thursday.
Thank you so much.
And again, Ms. Gibson, she also kind of touched on student success skills earlier. So thank you.
Thank you for that information. And now we have our dual enrollment portion with GMC that is going to be presented by Mr. Flagg. And I'm going to just hop on here and stop sharing for a second so he can present to you all what he has.
Okay, awesome. Good evening, everyone. My name is Benjamin. I am the Senior Enrollment Officer at Georgia Military College. So I just wanted to stop by really quick and kind of share some things with you all with regards to dual enrollment over at GMC. So as was mentioned earlier, GMC is directly across the street from Global Impact Academy. So it makes it real easy for students to come over, or maybe GMC could come over and visit the students there, and that way no one has to go anywhere. Of course, all of these things are being worked out between Global Impact Academy as well as the deans at Georgia Military College. Well, I'm just going to jump straight into it with regards to what are the requirements to join GMC for dual enrollment. So first and foremost, students must have a 2.5 GPA, and that would be unweighted. So a 2.5 unweighted GPA in order to join us. So students would first have to complete a GMC application. We don't know that students exist unless they submit an application to us. So please make sure that the student does do that. And please do not pay the application fee. We have a fee waiver code, which is DEFBN. So again, that's D as in dog, E for Edward, F for Frank, B for boy, N for Nancy. So I'm going to put that in the chat right now. So just in case you all need to take that down, you're more than welcome to do so. Now, also as mentioned earlier, 11th and 12th graders are only allowed to join as GMC, primarily only allowed to join as GMC only offers college core and associate's degree and bachelor's degree programs. So we don't offer any Ctae courses. However, a 10th grader may join us if they have a 1200 on the SAT or a 26 on the ACT. So that will be the only ways that a sophomore could actually join us. So in order to get started, again, just submit the GMC application. Make sure the student is going into the 11th or 12th grade. Have the counselor send us a official transcript so that we can verify the GPA. Now, we don't need test scores. You may have talked to other institutions and they may say they need this on the SAT or that on the ACT in order to join GMC. No, because again, the only thing you'll need is a 2.5 GPA. However, tests are used for placement purposes in certain courses. So for example, if an individual wants to take a college level English or college level math, then individuals would have to have certain test scores. So for example, that would be the SAT, ACT, and even right now, for those of you who may not have taken it yet, we do accept PSAT scores. So SAT, ACT, or PSAT scores to determine placement in certain courses. Now, if a student has not taken any of those tests at all, whether it's the SAT, the ACT, PSAT, or a placement test called the AccuPlacer, which is typically given at the Technical College System of Georgia, GMC will also take a look at students' high school transcripts. So for example, if a student wants to take a college level English, what we'll be looking for are certain grades like a B or better in a literature course, whether it be Brit Lit or World Lit, something of that nature. If a student wants to take a college algebra course with us, then we'll be looking to make sure that a student made a B or better in high school courses such as Algebra 2, Calculus, or Trigonometry. And then finally, you want to make sure that you complete a Georgia Futures funding application at gafutures.org. And that way, the state will be able to pay for it. Now, keep in mind, because of our quarter system, the state will only cover up to 45 credit hours with us. So 45 credit hours is basically half or 1 year of our total 90 credit hour associate's degree program. Now, once you've reached that cap, you're more than welcome to continue on with us and continue with dual enrollment. However, the state will no longer fund it. So you would have to pay for it out of your own pocket. So if you have some money and you're able to take care of that, you're more than welcome to do so. And that way it's possible for maybe a student to get their associate's degree at the same time they receive their bachelor's degree. So just had to keep it short today, but just to sum up, students need a 2.5 GPA. Test is not required, but only for placement purposes only. Make sure you talk to your counselor to determine what courses you need to take, as your counselor determines what classes you are allowed to take. Fill out your Georgia Futures funding application. The counselor will upload the classes to the Georgia Futures portal, and then we'll register the students for the classes. So it looks like you all will be trying to get started with us in the fall. So our fall quarter begins August 15th. So hope to see you all then.
Thank you so much, Mr. Flagg. We appreciate you joining us this afternoon to give us that information. We are looking forward to having our students go on over to GMC. So thank you so much.
No problem.
All right. And so with that, now we just want to share on AP. And so AP course is an advanced placement course that is certified by the College Board as a college level class that is taught in high school. The students can earn college credit as well as high school credit for these courses if their scores on the national AP exams are high enough to satisfy university requirements. The two AP courses that we currently offer are Seminar and World History. And so with that, we have reached the conclusion of both of our workshops. I want to thank you all for coming and open up the platform at this time to see if anyone has any questions. And if not, you guys can always drop them in the chat if you think of something in the future. As always, I have my contact information listed here for you. My email is quadisr@fultonschools.org, and that is my telephone number as well. And to conclude, I just would like for you all to, or would ask if you all would please take our survey for tonight's workshop. You can scan this QR code, and as many of you know, I usually always send a follow-up email, and I will include that as well if you are watching it from your phone and can't scan or do it at the moment. I do appreciate those of you that take the time to do these. These are very, very important for us to make sure that the information that we're sharing is relevant and that is well understood. If you select Global Impact Academy, it's the second from the last one on the list, and then you will select I am a parent at this school, and the workshop that we did for tonight is the Curriculum Night workshop. And that concludes our workshop for tonight. Once again, thank you all so much for joining me, and I appreciate your participation.